So, if you guys haven't heard, there's been a lot of iffy reviews about the PS4 Pro. Mostly, it's been pretty good. Some have said certain games, well, the frames are a little off on the 4K TVs, and there's some minor issues, but not really much, and it's only with certain games. But the more dilemma was with hooking it up to a regular HD TV, one that wasn't in 4K, and now that's what I have. I don't have a 4K, but I was finally wanting to get a PS4 Pro since I bought, the Retro Freak, the Xbox. I didn't have the money at the time when it first came out to get it, but now I did, and instead of going for the basic package, I went for the Pro. Pre-ordered it, and for me, out of all the games I've been playing on it, it has been running perfectly fine. With the HDR update, it really does bring out the colors. Like, the colors are a lot more vibrant than what we have on the regular Xbox, which the Xbox S has. Just regular Xboxes don't, but it really does bring out the color spectrum in it and make it a lot more bright and vibrant. It's a lot more noticeable. I haven't noticed any frame rate issues with the games I have, which are a couple of RPGs and this and that, and Bloodborne, which I was having a lot of fun being a little rage freak with that. Me personally, I dig it. Now, if you already have a PS4 Pro, I would not recommend going out and getting this. I mean, right now there's no reason to. The same games will work on both, even what's coming out now. Now, in the later future, maybe it's something to look forward to get. When the price comes a lot down, your PS4 original one, maybe it might be broke, or you're just wanting to upgrade to something better. That, or if they actually do go from, well, we're just going to make games for the PS4 Pro only. They said they wouldn't do that, but we all know not to trust video game companies at this point. Look at what Xbox tried to do with the Xbox One until we said, fuck no. So, but in all, it's not a bad little system. It is a lot more powerful. The load times, because I have a friend that has a PS4 that I play pretty regularly, the load times are cut down quite a bit, very noticeably. Bloodborne is not as bad as, oh god, it was when just trying to watch somebody play it online. Like, god damn, those loadings were so long. This has been shortened quite a bit. It still takes a little bit, but it's been shortened. I'm digging this so far.
I'm looking at it from this perspective. Do we know the specifications of what was changed and updated from the original?
Yes, I just don't have it with me. If you want to look that up real quick while I talk about it, I know the GPU was upgraded, the CPU was upgraded quite a bit. They added in some new programs, which went to all the PlayStation 4s. Actually, they did an update for all of them, but this one came with it already in it. The HDR and the color spectrums. The processing power is a lot greater in this, and it does actually have one game that is true native 4K. Most of the games, it's upscaling to 4K, or it is almost 4K, and they have this little program algorithm that people have been talking about that I don't know quite a bit about exactly how they do it, but it makes it look almost exactly like 4K. But I know there is one game that is natively 4K, and of course the games that there's like 3 or 4 games that have main issues, like, oh, sometimes the frame rates slow down. Still not where it's actually noticeable for the human eye, but some people can just pick up on it because it's not below 30 frames. God no, thank God. But it's 3 or 4 games where they just didn't get, because they had to make another version basically for their game to work on both systems. They just didn't get right. It's not going to be an issue, I think, within the next 4 to 5 months when more new games come out, because they've already have in progress. Okay, we make it in this, and then we just downscale to 1080p and won't have an issue with it. But for these games, they actually had to upgrade them right out the get-go and not just make a core one in 4K and then downgrade, which is easier to do. So I think that's where some of those issues lie in.
Okay. I mean, the only reason I ask is, I just recently upgraded some things inside of my PC as well, so I was wondering if they're actually doing a, an actual hardware upgrade with the Pro, or if it was all going to be on the software side, and maybe they found a way to, boost the production value out of it and shit, so.
Yeah, they actually did the hardware. It's actually almost around the same size as the regular PS4 Pro. It's a little bit wider, I think. It's triple stacks, but yet somehow around the same height. But width-wise, I think it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, they definitely did some stuff to the hardware. Or I would have just went with the regular one, because whatever you can do with the regular one, like they did with the HDR and this and that, you can just do through software. So why get the other one when you know for a fact they could just prop it over to the other one? But this one is actual hardware itself. So
shit, hold on. So with this upgrade though, one thing that I was wondering about, which has always kind of, intrigued me with the consoles, especially this newer generation. I come from where, when I was heavy into consoles, it was, PlayStation, then PlayStation 2. I could still use some of my PlayStation controllers on the PlayStation 2 because, I actually saw a real deal, this is a brand new console. And now you guys are getting, hardware upgrades to stretch out the life of the PS4, like with the Pro and then the Xbox One S, right?
Yeah, the Scorpio that's coming out for the Xbox.
Okay, so is my controller can I play with a Pro controller on a classic PS4 and vice versa? Is that a thing? Okay, so they're not screwing you over and saying, oh, well, you have 3 controllers for your PS4, and guess what? Now, one of them bitches is going to work on the PS4 Pro.
No, it still works. It is a redesign of the regular PS4 controller, but yeah, all of them will work, and they're actually coming out with new controllers that actually look like Xbox controllers. Like, they have 2 different versions of Xbox controllers basically coming out for PS4 and being made, it partnered with PlayStation themselves. That's basically Xbox controllers. Me personally, I like the Xbox design over the PlayStation's. I could never get into it. It always takes me a while to get into it. The PlayStation 4 Pro one, I actually dig, but it's still with, the joysticks down here, the trigger's so different than what any other console does in the last 2 generations. It's still a little tricky for me to remember when I first jumped back into a game onto the PlayStation. But, it's not as bad as what I would say the PlayStation 3 controller was. I had like 3 of those break on me, and it was like the PlayStation 2 controller, which the PlayStation 2 controller was a lot more reliable, and I just could never get into it right off the bat, like I was saying. So, to me, I really dig that they're coming out with these Xbox versions. Well, they're PlayStation's version of basically an Xbox controller, and I can't wait to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, also, if you didn't know, you can actually take a PlayStation 2 controller, buy an adapter for it, and use it on the PlayStation 3.
Really?
Yeah, it's not meant to, since not Xbox, but PlayStation 3 has those motion control, like all their controllers are like motion based, so if you tilt it this way or that way, your character might move this way or that way, and it was a gimmick that never took off. But yeah, there's actually an adapter where you can just use your PlayStation 2 controller, which is a hell of a lot more reliable.
Huh. Neato.